Live from the Clemente Center on the campus of Florida Tech in Melbourne, it's day 2 of the 2024 Florida Tech Holiday Classic. Game 2 on the day as the Flagler College Saints take on the University of Tampa Spartans on the Florida Tech Digital Network. And a pleasant good afternoon, everyone. Jerry Durney with you on the Florida Tech Digital Network. Jim Mitchell will be back for the Florida Tech men at 5 o'clock. It's now time for Game 2, the final game for the women this weekend, as Tampa, coming off their victory over Clayton State yesterday, will take on Flagler, who are coming off their victory over Florida Tech yesterday. It's just about time for the starting lineup, so we'll bring those to you, as Flagler will be the visiting team on the scoreboard today. So here's their starting five. It's Sherelle McCormick, the 5'10 senior from North Lauderdale, Florida. She'll be joined by Jessica Dowdy, the 5'8 junior from Augusta, Georgia. And also in the backcourt will be the 5'8 senior from Jacksonville, that's Sayla Reddick. And in the front court will be the 5'10 junior from Auburn, Illinois, Marley Smith, as well as the 6'1 junior from St. Clairsville, Ohio, and that is Carly Grimm. Flagler are under the guidance of sixth-year head coach Mo Smith. As Flagler are going to get back into their rhythm this year, doing so with an impressive win over Florida Tech yesterday. They enter at 4-5. Here is 10-2 Tampa under the guidance of Tom Jesse. Their starting five is unchanged from yesterday. It's Olivia Davis, the 5'6 sophomore guard from Sarasota, joined by the all-conference selection, the 5'7 graduate student from Boca Raton, that's Audrey Ramsey. And along with the 6'1 grad student from Morovis, Puerto Rico, that's Sariana Rodriguez, who helped carry the way yesterday for the Spartans. In the front court, it'll be the 6'1 graduate student from Westchester, Pennsylvania, that is Marissa McDonald. And in the middle, the 6'1 senior from Brentwood, Tennessee, that is Zoe Pillar, another all-SSC performer for head coach Tom Jesse, who looking to bounce back after what was a quiet performance for Pillar yesterday, which is unusual for her, at least in terms of the numbers. And Tom Jesse, who has been in charge of the Spartans since 2002, actually said he was impressed with the way that his team was able to win a game like that yesterday when they didn't have their best stuff. He said, all these games this time of year, they're all grinded out kind of games. And he said, the thing I was happiest about was our defense went out and won us a game. We weren't shooting it well. We really couldn't get the ball inside the way that we wanted to. So what did we do? We locked up on the other end. And said, I told them that's an important thing for them to learn. There's going to be games like this where we're not going to have every single shot we want. But what can you do? You're gonna go down and make sure they're not going to have a good day either. Flagler wearing their black alternates with the yellow lettering and numbering with a dash of red. Tampa wearing their home white with the red lettering and numbering and black trim, and they've got the red and black stripe on the side as that shot from Marley Smith simply ricochets out of bounds. We'll see Flagler go to the press, and Tom Jesse, was even before yesterday, even before the first game that he played yesterday, already had his eye on this coming into today in terms of he was interested to see how his team was going to be able to deal with that, because, you never know who you're going to draw. When you get to the NCAA tournament, you never know what wrinkle teams in your own conference might throw in, and are you going to be prepared to deal with that? Pillar kicks it into the corner, and that'll be a corner three that won't go off the back iron for Sariana Rodriguez. Saints moving in transition. Swings over for McCormick, and much as was the case yesterday when Flagler defeated Florida Tech, you see it right there as McCormick took 2 steps inside the arc there. If the Saints are going to get a win over a top 15 team today, they're going to have to do it through the backcourt duo of Sherelle McCormick and Destiny McClendon. That's how they were able to pull away yesterday, and they're going to need their all-conference players to be that today. Tampa missed the bunny inside, and Flagler can continue to double up as Marley Smith will let it go from beyond the arc. Not there, but Sayla Reddick is to get the rebound, and it goes to McCormick, who knocks down the three right in front of the Spartan bench, and the Saints have the first 5 points of this one. Kind of interested to see how Tampa would come out after yesterday, because this is a team that can get after it on the offensive end, and to have that kind of game where you don't break 65, you're thinking you're going to see the type of game where they're going to come out smoking, and It hasn't quite happened yet, although Ramsey will break the ice for the Spartans, and it's 5-2 with just over 2 minutes gone. Reddick brings it up. Transfer from Santa Fe College as McCormick goes baseline over to Smith. Into the post for Grimm. That'll be a good matchup today between her and Pillar. Grimm will get the first of this one. Grimm got busy yesterday. We mentioned it was McCormick and McClendon, and they'll need that, but Harley Grimm had quite the day, too. Ramsey through the screen of McDonald. McDonald was getting into a lot of good positions yesterday and had a lot of scoring opportunities. Just had trouble converting them as Pillar's rebound and putback does not go. Grimm there with the board. And Flagler seemed to be more in sync at the moment as McCormick's pass is picked off by Ramsey. One of the best in the Sunshine State Conference at doing that, and McCormick will return the favor. Tampa looking to get to, or I should say Flagler looking to get to 500 on the season. Tampa looking to improve to 11-2 before they close out 2024. McCormick's threes no good. Ramsey is there on the rebound. One-handed pass ahead for Rodriguez, who just does keep it in play. And Pillar will allow the rest of the Spartans to get set. This is the 23rd all-time meeting between these two teams, but it's the first time they've played each other in 10 years. As Pillar's shot is up, but that is going to be an offensive foul on Pillar. And in a somewhat similar fashion to yesterday, bit of an off start for the Spartans, and they'll continue to trail by 5 after 3.5 minutes. Tampa have won 17 of the first 22 meetings. This is the first time these two are playing on a neutral floor. All the previous 22 were either in Tampa or St. Augustine. Last time these two teams met was back on November 14th, 2014. As here's Grimm's jumper at the foul line, and it's good. Flagler playing with the wind at their back so far. It is a 7-point lead after 4 minutes. And here comes Davis. On the drive will be McDonald. Plenty of space for Pillar. Fakes the jumper. She'll drive into the lane past Grimm. Layup won't go, and Grimm has it. And Tampa just seemed to be out of sorts here in the early going. Here's Reddick on the drive. Backing down Davis. Couple of pump fakes. Goes up and under. Layup won't fall. It's still loose underneath. Pillar has the rebound, and she's fouled. And that will go against Carly Grimm. That is the one part of Pillar's game that does not change, even though she didn't have the highest scoring game yesterday. She is 4th in the Sunshine State Conference in rebounding. She averages 8.1 boards per game. Leah Irizarry Perez of Rollins, your leader, at 8.6. Here's Davis, a product of Cardinal Mooney High School over in Sarasota. It's another one of those schools that you follow enough high school sports in the state of Florida, they're usually good at everything. Rodriguez, inside it goes for Vivian Gendy, who just checked into the game after that last dead ball, and it's a 3-second violation on Tampa. And this strange start continues as Jasmine Major will check in. She'll replace Sailor Reddick. We mentioned yesterday on the broadcast, Jasmine will have quite the hometown crowd behind her. Jasmine, a product of Palm Bay High School. This is her first year in St. Augustine after spending last year at Lenore-Rhine. McClendon trying to go baseline and was trying to find Dowdy and actually went off Dowdy's hands. I thought that might have been kicked out, but we have our first media timeout at the 5-minute mark of the first quarter. It is Flagler 9, Tampa 2. We'll be right back. This is the Florida Tech Holiday Classic on the Florida Tech Digital Network. Okay. I've got the stat sheet pulled up, so you don't have to worry about me on timeouts. I know you guys have to take care of the benches, so you're good. And we are back with exactly 5 minutes to go in the first quarter, and Flagler having the dream start as Sherelle McCormick will add to that. It is now an 11-2 Saints lead, and I don't hate the idea of continuing to press here. You've had the start. You've got Tampa a little bit discombobulated here, and nothing will really add to that more than the press. You know, that's all about disrupting your rhythm and getting into your flow. And, you know, you're already kind of a little bit rattled down 9, and then the team leading you decides to throw the press on. I don't hate what Flagler was trying to go for there, as McCormick will continue to add with the deep ball there. It is a 10-point Saints lead. Boy, we've got one on our hands early, folks. And Tom Jesse said before yesterday's game, and he said this was the theme for the weekend. He said the message he had to his team is, you are where your mind is. That if you're already back home thinking about Christmas break and being back with your family, you're going to lose to Santa. And very nearly got them yesterday against Clayton State, and they are in trouble at the moment. Here's McCormick along the baseline. Her jumper was long. Ramsey there for the rebound. She'll kick it ahead for Rodriguez, who's got just McClendon to beat, and rims out. She'll shoot 2, but if you're Tampa, you just kind of want to see the ball in the basket right now. Checking in is Abby Smith, which a little bit of a surprise because she did play briefly in the first half yesterday and left with foul trouble. And then in the fourth quarter, we saw her on the bench with a sling, which kind of threw some doubt onto whether she would be available today, but appears to be good to go and doesn't look any worse for it. Rodriguez knocks down the first. Second one rims out, and the rebound by Abby Smith. Boy, it's going to be a fascinating last 33 minutes of this game, even just the way it started. Ramsey will guard Major at the top. And now our first look at Lainey Norica, who did not play yesterday. This is kicked over to Major for 3, and she'll hit right in front of the Spartan bench. And Flagler's dream start continues. It's 17-5. And the Saints to this point are shooting 58% from the field and 60% from 3. That'll play. Rodriguez with Saints going to a man here. This will swing over left side for Ramsey. Her shot does not go. Rebound snatched by McCormick. Overhead for McClendon, and a collision between her and Davis. And you just want to see everyone get up from that, and thankfully they're okay. Just one of the worst spots that could happen, right at the end of the scorers table there, and a little bit of the gap, and then the start of the bench. And that could have been so much worse. Luckily, they both got right back up. McClendon will come off. Dowdy will check right back in. They'll join Major, McClendon, Smith, and Dowdy. 2:30 to go here in the first quarter. Flagler leading by 12. It goes to Major. Thought about it with the left-hand dribble against Davis. Shot clock down to 3, and I don't think the Saints know it. And letting it go, and did not quite get the roll there, was McClendon. She'll pick up Ramsey in the backcourt. And the guards today, and most specifically Rodriguez and Ramsey against McClendon and McCormick, might be the matchup that decides this game. Here's Rodriguez on the drive. She lost the dribble. It's going to be picked up by Dowdy. Flagler had numbers there. They do slow it just a bit. The handoff for Major. Her 3 does not go. The rebound picked up by Jendi. So we're inside the final 2 minutes of the first quarter. Here's Davis on the drive as veers into the double there of Major and Dowdy. Gets it back with some space on the feed from Ramsey. The three is no good. Pulled out of the air by Norica. Flagler do not seem content to sit on their lead. They are continuing to push the ball, and they just want to continue to attack Tampa, which probably is the right move, given there's 3+ quarters to go. Maybe as the game goes on, you want to try to slow this down, but right now, playing this way has gotten you the 12-point lead. Why not continue to just go right at them? Inside to Jendi, blocked by Norica, and tracked down by Abby Smith. Impressive start for Lainey Norica, the redshirt sophomore from Newville, Pennsylvania, who did not play yesterday. Here's Major's jumper right on the foul line, and good. And it continues to be that kind of quarter for Flagler as we're inside the final minute. It is 19-5. Sound the upset alert. Or at least we're on upset alert watch. About 16 seconds between the shot clock and game clock, although things will come to a halt here as that's going to be a foul on McClendon, who was guarding Jendi. Teams had fouls to give, so that will just simply be on the floor. Grimm will return for Flagler, and Pillar will return for Tampa. Destiny McClendon goes to the bench for the Saints, while Vivian Jendi does so for Tampa. Inbound goes to Pillar. And it's about an 8-second difference. Here's Rodriguez's jumper. She had a foot on the line, and it's good. And like I said before for Tampa, you just want to see the ball go in the basket right now. Saints can play for the final shot if they choose. This is Dowdy. Thought about it. Step back three with Rodriguez right on her. Doesn't go. Pillar will grab the board, and Tampa has some time here with 6 seconds. Ramsey has it. Going to go at Grimm. Over half court. Down to 2. Down to 1. She'll let it go. And was off target, caught the backboard, and that will end a very surprising first quarter here at the Clemente Center. After 1, it is Flagler 19, number 15, Tampa 7. We'll be back. This is the 2024 Florida Tech Holiday Classic on the Florida Tech Digital Network.
They have come.
Founded to educate the pioneers of the U.S. space program, Florida Tech's history is making history. Today we carry on this legacy, redefining what's possible, transforming dreams into reality, embarking on the endeavors most pivotal to the future. Florida Tech, making history, shaping the future.
Welcome back. We've got a stunner on our hands right now. After 1, Flagler leading the number 15 team in the country, the Tampa Spartans, by 12. Flagler shot 8 of 17 from the field in the first quarter, while the Spartans were 3 for 13. Saints also went 3 of 7 from beyond the arc. Tampa 0 for 4. And Flagler did that, by the way, without going to the free throw line. Just you could not ask for a better first 10 minutes. Flagler trying to keep that going, as I have to appreciate the effort there from Dowdy. Just could not keep that from rolling out of bounds. Flagler to this point led by Sherelle McCormick, an all-conference player, one of the best scorers in the program's history. She had 10 points in the first 7 minutes. Jasmine Major had 5, Carly Grimm with the other 4. And that's the scoring right now for Flagler as Zoe Pillar is on the board. And we talked about Tampa just wanting to see the ball go in the basket, probably none more so than Zoe Pillar, who has been a driving force for this Tampa team over the past couple of years. A team that has gone to each of the past 2 Elite Eights. An all-conference performer last year, played a big part in their run to St. Joseph, Missouri. Had some struggles yesterday, and that was Pillar's 4th shot, and she finally hit. And I'm sure for Zoe Pillar, you just want to know, like, hey, I do this. I know that's going in. They'll go into her here working against Carly Grimm. A lot of contact underneath. First shot didn't go. She got the rebound. And the whistle there will be on Sherelle McCormick. Mo Smith is incredulous. You saw the first shot. Tampa had one trip to the line in the first quarter, went 1 for 2 there, and that was Sariana Rodriguez. So those were the only free throws in the first 10 minutes until right here. And that one rims out. You mentioned it. Surprisingly quiet line for Pillar yesterday. Played 24 minutes, 3 points on 1 of 6 shooting, but did record 6 rebounds. Which, again, we mentioned she is one of the very best in the SSC at that. In terms of scoring, even with the quiet game yesterday, still averaging 18.3 on the season. That's good for third in the SSC behind only Audrey Jennings of Barry and Cash Ayuso of Palm Beach Atlantic. Letting it fly from deep was Marley Smith. That did not go. Great effort by McCormick to keep that in play. And they'll swing it to Marley Smith, who did not get picked up there. Tampa a bit fortunate that Smith misses. Everything kind of broke down on the initial offensive rebound, and Smith just found herself right back in good position to take another shot, which looked online, it was just short. McCormick will pick up Rodriguez. They go to Pillar there. They seem to like that matchup between her and Marley Smith. They go cross court. Ramsey for 3. Got it. Audrey Ramsey knocks that down, and keep talking about things that Tampa needed to see. Audrey Ramsey yesterday played all 40 minutes and had 13 points, 6 rebounds, and 5 assists. And that's why she has been an all-conference performer over the past couple of years. You know, they talk about bus drivers and people that make things happen for teams. Well, Zoe Pillar was one of those for the past couple of years with Tampa. And, of course, they've had great players on those Elite 8 teams that have since graduated. But Zoe Pillar and Audrey Ramsey both played an immense part in that. Ramsey will shoot 2 here after the foul committed by Sayla Reddick. That's the second on the Saints this quarter as the fouls reset. Ramsey's first free throw on the way is good. Ramsey on the year, a 73.8% free throw shooter coming in. She was 4 for 5 there yesterday. And the second one is good. And very quietly, Tampa have ran off a 8-0 run to start this quarter. All of a sudden, it has gotten very interesting quick. It is 19-15 with a little over 2 minutes gone. And this is going to be the challenge for Flagler. You knew Tampa was going to go on this kind of run at some point. And teams this great are not great by accident. And how will the Saints respond? Wait, I stand corrected. Dating back to the final minute of the first quarter, this is a 10-0 run for the Spartans. They, however, can't make a further dent, at least for the moment. Handoff goes to Reddick. You'll find Dowdy at the top. He picked up by Georgia Palmieri, who checked in. Saints do not feel comfortable driving inside right now. Grimm with the handoff back. It goes to McCormick. She had a foot inside the line, but Flagler will take it as that stops the bleeding momentarily, and it'll push the lead back out to 6. Saints show press. Palmieri able to beat that pretty easily with a good pass over the top by Davis. And Jesse said the one thing he's consistently learned going against presses over the years is you have to have consistency in going against that. You have to value the ball, and you know there are tells and patterns that teams want to have with what you want to do and what they want you to do when they're pressing. And you know, a good press really can be a great offense, especially more so in college basketball than at any level. You know, I think back to those Rick Pitino teams at Kentucky. I mean, their offense was the press. They could flip a game inside 2 minutes, just between their offense, and then they could go to the press, and you'd look up and you'd be down 18, and that's what they could do. You think back to those Nolan Richardson teams at Arkansas who played the 40 minutes of hell. It was the same sort of thing. A 5-point lead now for the Saints. Now they're going to have to make sure they stay on their feet here against what will certainly be a great effort from Tampa. Turnover could lead to a fast break opportunity here for Rodriguez, but the layup does not go. Reddick there to bring it back the other way immediately. Finding McCormick in transition, back to Reddick. It seems as if the paint's been closed off, which Flagler was hitting their outside shots in that first quarter, as the pass is going to be intercepted again by Rodriguez on back-to-back possessions, and both times she can't get her layup to go. This time Pillar was there. She'll put it home, and Mo Smith wants to talk things over. We'll be at our media timeout with 5:44 to go in the first half. The Spartans are now on a 13-2 run. It is Flagler 21, Tampa 18. We'll be back. This is the 2024 Florida Tech Holiday Classic on the Florida Tech Digital Network. Welcome back at the Clemente Center. Jerry Durney with you. Reaching the midway point of the second quarter, and Tampa have closed the gap with a 13-2 run. And this their final non-conference game of the regular season, both for Flagler as well, and both teams will hit the winter break after this, if only for a time. This is Sherelle McCormick swimming over for Abby Smith. Joined right now by Grimm, Dowdy, Reddick, and Norika. Reddick spinning in the paint, in trouble. Shot clock down to 3. I don't know if Norika realizes it. Abby Smith's got to let it go, and the Saints don't even get a shot off. I'm not sure it ever got communicated. And another turnover caused by the Tampa defense. I'm interested to see how many that is this quarter. That's 4 now by Flagler. And for the game, that's 5. Tampa have 4 in total. McDonald over it goes for Palmieri. They'll dump into the paint. Good little two-man game between her and Pillar there. Palmieri's 3 is off the front rim. And the rebound goes to McCormick, who's had quite a bit of those. She's been very active here in the first 15 minutes. On the drive, McCormick looking for somebody. Instead, it'll be Norika. 116, Dowdy with the drive. Going at the basket at McDonald, and it did everything but go in. And there's Rodriguez, who has been all over this game so far and very active. Rodriguez to this point with 2 steals and 2 rebounds and 3 points. She's also been one of the 2 that's generally been handling the ball for Tampa. Shot clock down to 10 here. Palmieri goes cross court for McDonald. Thought about it. She'll let it go. Rolls around and in, and we are tied. And it is a 16-2 run by Tampa to bring themselves on level terms. That is the last non-conference regular season game for both, as Jessica Dowdy with a much-needed shot in the arm for Flagler. She was hitting from deep yesterday, and she does again here. She was 3 for 6 yesterday, had 16 points, and was one of 4 Saints in double figures in yesterday's win. After today, Flagler will be off for 2 weeks, and they'll be back in action on Saturday, January the 4th against North Georgia. And Tampa answer right back. This is this could be a game that goes to the last 2-3 minutes. As Ramsey converted on that end, she has 11 of the 23, although she's going to get called for the push-off there. Tom Jesse is irate. And I do credit our officiating crew for letting Tom say his piece. They do. They'll make a substitution here as checking in will be Kath Van Bennekom. She'll replace Marissa McDonald. Our officiating crew by the way, today is Mark Ellard, Thomas Van Dyke, and Ray Lewis. And I'm sure he's probably tired of getting that question. I presume no relation. I presume. Fouled on the way up, Sherelle McCormick. And that will be on Sariana Rodriguez. That's her first. Nobody in any foul trouble yet for Tampa. That's just their fourth team foul of the game. Flagler will have to navigate these last 3 minutes from the foul trouble perspective because both McClendon and Grimm each have 2 at the moment. First free throw, no good. And that was also the Saints' first free throw attempt of the ball game. I'm not sure if there's maybe something that Mo Smith would want to fix at the locker room. That's probably near the top of the list. Is hey, you can't count on staying hot from outside for 40 minutes. But what you always can do is go to the basket, and you can get fouls. And they'll create a turnover there, courtesy of McCormick. It goes to Reddick. Jumper from just inside the elbow and good. Sayla Reddick knocks down her first basket of the day, and the Saints appear to be weathering the storm as they have pushed their lead to 4 with 2:51 to go here in the first half. It's Flagler 27, Tampa 23. We'll be right back.
Being a champion takes more than skill, more than endless drills, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the heart to give it your all, the agility to thrive from any angle, and the relentless drive to be the best. Welcome to Division 2, where the pursuit is yours to create, and the question isn't, can you do it? It's, will you?
Bounded. We'll go to Sariana Rodriguez. Welcome back. 27-23 your score with Flagler leading. And they have cooled down a bit, and it's been Tampa who's had the hot hand from the shooting perspective. They are 5 for 10 from the field prior to that miss by Rodriguez. The Saints, however, 3 for 9. Right to them, though, they appear to have weathered the worst of it. Although I do think we're going to have ourselves probably a close back-and-forth game from here. Although, as I say that, the Saints push the lead back out to 6 as Sherelle McCormick has 15 of the Saints' 29. With 5 rebounds here in the first half. All right, this could be a rapidly improving Flagler team that able to withstand a punch from one of the better teams in the nation. As well, you give Sariana Rodriguez that much space, you know she's going to knock that down. She does, and that'll have the lead. Rodriguez came in averaging 45% from 3. She's now 23 of 50 on the season. Actually, I stand corrected. She's 1 for 3 today. So make her 23 of 52. That's going to be a traveling call on Marley Smith. Spartans will take over with 1:36 left here in the first half. And what has been a very fun first half. Really enjoyed how this has unfolded so far. Ramsey calls out the signal, second in scoring on this team at 12.1 points per game. Good feed from Pillar to Van Bennekom, who slipped behind the Saints defense, able to lay it in. And the Saints lead is just 1 as we come up on the final minute of play in the first half. I think we'll hand it off to Destiny McClendon. Again, for right now, she's playing with 2 fouls. Smith over to Reddick with 10 on the shot clock. McCormick will take it over the top of the screen, set by Marley Smith. Shot clock down to 5. Down to floor. McCormick will take it with a foot on the line off the back iron, no good. Now there's a whistle. Now it did beat the shot clock, but I don't think that's what the whistle was for. And it's a foul on Tampa on the loose ball. It's going to be on Van Bennekom. That's her first. Now, I think that was away from the shot. So it'll be Saints ball with 44.9 seconds remaining. The shot clock will reset to 20. Reddick will bring it in. Coming across the screen quick is McCormick. Gets another one set by Marley Smith. McClendon's three is no good. Rebound pulled down by Ramsey. And if they can get past the press, which they do, there's about a 3-second difference between the shot and game clock. Rodriguez is not worried about that as she puts the Spartans ahead. Tampa have the lead, and I believe that is their first of the game. It took until the final minute of the first half for Tampa to take the lead for the first time. Let's see how it closes. Reddick will call it out. Down to 7, down to 6. It's McClendon over to McCormick with 4, with 3, with 2. McClendon on the drive, and she's going to lose that out of bounds. And I think we're going to get time added back on because the buzzer sounded after that ball went out of bounds. And I believe this will be Flagler ball. It was knocked out by a Spartan, and we just saw the official signal for that. They will put 0.4 of a second back on the clock. It's Reddick to inbound. They're going to try to set a screen here. Instead, it goes to Marley Smith. She'll let it go. And the official nearest to us was saying that did not get off in time. Shot was not good anyway, and that ends a very entertaining first 20 minutes here at the Clemente Center. We go to the locker room. It's Tampa 31, Flagler 29. We'll take a 15-minute break, and then we'll be back with the second half here in Melbourne. You're watching the 2024 Florida Tech Holiday Classic on the Florida Tech Digital Network.
Welcome everyone, I'm Preston Hoovers from Florida Tech Baseball and welcome back to Beyond the Game. I'm here with
Derek Duplishin.
We got a couple questions for you, so let's start walking. First off, Derek, what's your major and why did you choose it?
So I'm civil engineering and I chose that major because growing up I was really good at math and I kind of translated into me wanting to do something in that field. And then when I started looking into civil engineering a little bit more, I decided that like designing stuff, working with people, that was kind of like my passion.
Nice. If you had one skill that you learned from playing lacrosse that you brought into the classroom, what would it be?
I would just say the teamwork aspect of the game, being able to cooperate, work with people, talk to people, problem solve, stuff like that.
Nice. Now, if you've had one professor or class that's really stood out or you would say is your favorite class, what would it be here at Florida Tech?
I would say so far computer applications was really fun because I got to kind of see the CAD aspect of everything, design things, make floor plans, stuff like that.
Now, if you would have one piece of advice to a future student choosing your major, what would it be?
Yeah, I would say to just learn how to manage your time efficiently, make a calendar because it's easy to fall behind on stuff and be busy with schoolwork and stuff like that, and it's easy to get lost in all that.
It's great. Derek, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
It's been a pleasure.
Hi everybody, my name is Celeste. I'm currently a grad student here at Florida Tech, getting my master's in computer information systems, and I'm also on the softball team. This year I've been lucky enough to work in a work-study role with sports performance, and I will be taking you guys through a tour of ETC, where scholar athletes spend a lot of their time just throughout the day. Let's go. So this is a meeting room where teams host team meetings, they watch pre and post game film, and sometimes we even have media day. It's a really good area for scholar athletes to utilize because we're also able to do our homework in here and even just get some downtime. Follow me. So in this hallway, we have the entrances to both our locker rooms where men's and women's soccer are, men's and women's lacrosse, and baseball and softball kind of hang out and host all our stuff. Right behind us over here is the laundry room where teams do their laundry, and they also have their game day stuff set out. So this is a weight room where teams hold team lifts and open lifts. Fun fact, actually, these racks are brand new. They got installed in the spring. If you follow me through these doors, we're gonna go to the VTC turf. So this is a VTC turf where all our sports teams utilize it for speed and agility with the sports performance team, as well as open field practices for our field teams. It's a good space to get some recovery in and also just get a nice running workout in as well. So this is our cold tub room where athletes get to utilize the cold tub to recover their muscles, and also there's a free post-lift snack area with a couple vending machines. Our sports performance coaches' offices are back here, and a quick fun fact, this cold tub is currently sitting at about 42 degrees. This is the athletic training room where athletes come in to get rehab and treatment for their injuries. Honestly, we spend a lot of time in here because a lot of us end up being really sore. But the good part about it is that Graham has really good tunes and his music does not disappoint.
In NCAA Division II, student athletes leave a lasting impression on their communities. That's because Division II student athletes want to make a difference and truly be part of their surrounding communities. Through community engagement, thousands of student athletes from various backgrounds interact with community members who view them as role models. This interaction leaves a positive and perhaps even life-changing impression on all those involved. In Division II, we rise to the opportunity and make community engagement ours. NCAA Division II, community engagement is an initiative at all 25 national championships because student athletes want to give back while competing for a national title. Over the course of the year, Division II student athletes have an opportunity to leave a lasting impression in local communities throughout the country. Whether Division II student athletes are volunteering at hospitals, schools, after-school care programs, foster homes, or retirement villages, they make a difference in the lives of others. In Division II, we rise to the opportunity and make community engagement ours.
The day had come.
Founded to educate the pioneers of the U.S. space program, Florida Tech's history is making history. Today we carry on this legacy, redefining what's possible, transforming dreams into reality, embarking on the endeavors most pivotal to the future. Florida Tech, making history, shaping the future.
Welcome back as we get ready to start the second half with Tampa leading Flagler 31-29 here on the Florida Tech Digital Network. Quick look at the first half stats. Both teams shot 41% from the field. Flagler going 12 of 29 overall, while Tampa were 11 for 27. Spartans were 4 of 10 from three-point range. Flagler were 4 for 12, so a difference of 40 to 33%. Tampa went 5 for 8 at the foul line, good for 63%. Flagler just 1 for 2. Both teams turned it over 6 times. Flagler converted it into 7 points. Tampa converted it into 4. Spartans have the rebounding edge 18-17, including 4-3 on the offensive glass. They lead in second chance points 5-3. Flagler have the advantage in bench points 5-2. The Spartans have scored all 8 points in the paint in this game and all 3 fast break points in this game as Carly Grimm's jumper rims out. Flagler are led by Sherelle McCormick, who had 15 in the first half. Tampa led by Audrey Ramsey, who had 11. But this should set up a very interesting final 20 minutes of this one. Flagler got off to a 19-5 lead, and then Tampa went on a 16-2 run, and it's been a back-and-forth game ever since as Zoe Pillar, who has struggled this weekend here in Melbourne, gets her first basket of the second half. She's up to 8 points and 7 boards on the afternoon, while Grimm tries to answer. Her three-pointer's no good, and it's pulled down by Sariana Rodriguez. That's her third rebound of the afternoon. She'll bring it up. And lay off for Ramsey, who is actually tied for the team lead in rebounds with Pillar. They both have 7. And I think we're going to have a moving screen away from the ball, and it's going to be on Ramsey. And that is her second. She is the only Spartan with more than 1 foul. For Flagler, Carly Grimm and Destiny McClendon both have 2. We said it was going to really take an effort from the Flagler backcourt if they were going to have a chance today. Well, McCormick has 15. Destiny McClendon has taken 1 shot. That's it. Now, part of that's down to the foul trouble, too, but also they've been going at the hot hand with McCormick, who will get the ball here with 7 on the shot clock. Grimm setting the screen to Shake Rodriguez. She'll get it back on the feed from McClendon. Perfectly executed pick and roll there between McClendon and Grimm, and that'll bring the Saints within 2. Ramsey with the left-hand dribble, veering toward the Tampa bench, and the dribble handoff for Rodriguez. Finds Davis. Reddick, who has been terrific on defense so far in this one. But Davis gets around everybody. Shot was short, however. Rebound pulled down by Marley Smith. That's her first of the day. They're led in that category by McCormick with 5. Smith will get it back as the trailer. Her 3 does not go. And it's a rebound for Olivia Davis. There's Ramsey. You mentioned the last time these two teams played, it's all the way back in November 2014. Tampa won that day, 58-56. Matter of fact, the last 2 times these two teams have played have ended in a 58-56 win for the Spartans. Prior to that, it was all the way back in January of 2009. Mentioned Tampa have won 17 of the 22 meetings between the two. Those include 17 wins in a row. Jumper no good, rebounded by Pillar. Flagler's last win in this series was all the way back on February 9th, 1980. Won that day in Tampa, 78-67. All the way back in the very infant stages of both programs. That's how far back that goes. Turnover against the Spartans as Jasmine Major and Destiny McClendon check in. And for Tampa, Kath Van Bennekom will check back in. Anyway, looking around the Sunshine State Conference scoreboard, plenty of teams in action today, which we will check out here momentarily. Of course, Florida Tech falling at home to Clayton State. Eckert had no trouble whatsoever as Major hits another 3. That's her second of the day. Eckert defeated Trinity over at Florida Southern defeating Trinity 93-30. You heard that right, 93-30. Palm Beach Atlantic, a 69-56 winner over Bowie State. And a foul off the ball there, and that was committed by Marley Smith. Florida Southern lead Maryville 74-70. There's 7.5 minutes left there. Lynn is just underway at home with Shaw. And that is the last game to get underway on the docket. Of course, the rest of the SSC today is the Flagler bench incensed at the call there. Pillar will shoot 2. As Dowdy will replace Grimm, who picks up her 3rd foul in the process. Pillar entering today a 76.7% free throw shooter on the season. 56 of 73 at the line. She's now 3 for 5 there today. Second free throw is good, and the Spartan lead has been restored. Now the cross-court pass goes over to McClendon. Foul on the play, and that'll be against Van Bennekom, her 2nd. There's 2 more games on the docket after this one, both on the men's side. Letting it go for 3, that's Dowdy, rolling around but won't go. And the rebound ultimately won by Ramsey. We have the Florida Tech men playing Dominican University out of New York. That'll be at 5 o'clock. And at 7 to wrap up the weekend, we will have Lynn playing Trinity Baptist. Mention the schedule for these 2 teams. And Flagler are off until for the next 2 weeks. Tampa will be back on New Year's Day. We'll take a trip down to Nova Southeastern, which would be a very fun matchup there. They'll be back home on Saturday the 4th when they play Rollins. Flagler do not have another home game until January 8th when they play South Carolina Aiken. It'll be just over a month since their last home game when that happens. In the corner, that is Rodriguez, but she was just inside the line, so it'll be a 2 for Rodriguez, who's now got 11 on 4 of 8 shooting today. They have needed that. They needed Pillar and Ramsey to step up as well, and those 3 have all done their part as Tampa lead by 3. Ramsey over to Georgia Palmieri. Guarded by Dowdy. Finds it in for Pillar. Or the senior out of Brentwood, Tennessee, previously played at West Florida, and that's put home by Van Bennekom. And Tampa have reeled off 6 straight to take a 5-point lead. McCormick over to Major. She'll let it fly. That won't go, and we've got a foul on the rebound. And that's going to be on Van Bennekom, and that's her 3rd. And we have hit the media timeout. With 4:14 remaining in the 3rd, it's Tampa 39, Flagler 34. We'll be right back. This is the Florida Tech Holiday Classic on the Florida Tech Digital Network. Welcome back to the Clemente Center. Jerry Durney with you on the Florida Tech Digital Network. 4:14 remaining in the third. 15th ranked Tampa leading Flagler 39-34. And down goes to Destiny McClendon. She'll fire, just her second shot of the day. Three-pointer was off. Rodriguez with the rebound. The foul will be on Jasmine Major. That's her second. Third team foul against Flagler or I should say fourth against the Saints here in the quarter. So next one will put Flagler in the bonus. Rodriguez over to Ramsey. Pillar with Van Bennekom cutting to the basket. The foul's going to be on the floor, although that will be 5 against Flagler, so they will be shooting 2. The foul, I believe, is on McClendon, and that's her third. Indeed it is. Destiny McClendon came into today averaging 13 points per game. She has taken 2 shots. And yet here the Saints are very much with a chance to win this game, as replacing her is McCormick. And the first free throw from Van Bennekom is good. Mentioned Van Bennekom, a transfer from New Mexico, originally from Gorinchem in the Netherlands. Second free throw, no good. Van Bennekom played in 63 games during her career at New Mexico. Major being picked up by Palmieri. Over it goes for Abby Smith. Dowdy with 11 on the shot clock. Back up top for McCormick. Marley Smith will set the screen. It goes back to Smith with 5 to shoot. It goes to Major. She's in the paint, surrounded by 3 white shirts. They got to let it go. They did not get it off. Second shot clock violation of the game for Flagler, and they'll turn it over with 3:17 remaining here in the third. Olivia Davis will replace Audrey Ramsey. And I'm sure this is strictly just to get a breather. Ramsey has played 25 out of a possible 26 minutes. Entry pass goes into Pillar. It's knocked out of bounds by Marley Smith. Pillar already with a double-double in 21 minutes today. 10 points, 10 rebounds, along with 4 assists. Rodriguez on the drive will put it up, no good. Van Bennekom's got the rebound. Back out it goes to Davis. The left-handed 3 won't go. Major there on the rebound, and she had 7 of those yesterday. That's her second today. She'll get the feed from McCormick. Into the paint, kicks back out. It's McCormick letting it fly from the left side. Won't go. Rodriguez pulls down her 5th rebound. Tampa starting to assert themselves on the glass. They now have an advantage of 5 on the boards. Davis thought about it. She'll drive. Gets by Smith. Goes with the wraparound. Won't go. It's out of bounds, and that'll be last touch by the Saints. Tampa will get a reset on the shot clock to 20 with 2:23 to go. Inbound goes to Pillar and just able to muscle against Marley Smith. And Zoe Pillar showing that all-conference form. She's got 12 today. She is 4 of 9 overall. And the Spartans have their largest lead at 8. McClendon to Major from McCormick. Won't go, and the rebound grabbed by Palmieri. Tampa's defense continuing to lock up. Flagler just 2 of 11 in this quarter from the field, including 1 of 10 from 3. They have just completely shut the paint off. And a foul there as Van Bennekom hits the deck. There were 3 Saints in the area, and that's going to go on Jasmine Major, and that's her 3rd. So Mo Smith will have a decision to make, and it looks as if it'll be Sayla Reddick who comes in for Major. Ramsey will return for the Spartans as she replaces Rodriguez. Half Van Bennekom to shoot 2. She is 10 of 13 on the season entering today. And we can make that now 11 of 16, 12 of 17. Knocks that down, and Spartan lead almost to double digits. And, well, they've come back a couple times already in this game, have Flagler. This is going to be their toughest test yet. They probably want to get this down to about 4 or 5 points by the end of the quarter, and we're inside 90 seconds. Smith lost it, got it back. Over to Reddick. Be guarded by Ramsey. Smith sets the screen. Going along the baseline is Dowdy with 8 to shoot. It goes over. This is Aspen Weeks. They're going to have to let it go with 2. With 1, Reddick fires. Did she beat it? No. And that's the second shot clock violation in the quarter for Flagler, and their third today. They turn it over with 1:08 to go in the quarter. Flagler have now turned it over 8 times on the afternoon. That's 1 less than Tampa. Ramsey to Palmieri. And Bennicum going to work in the post against Weeks. Seeing her first action of the day. Turnaround jumper, no good. Dowdy there on the rebound. And here come the Saints being led by Dowdy to Reddick. And now Weeks. At the foul line, kicks over to Reddick. Gets by 1 defender. She'll pull up. Off glass, no good, but Smith is there. Her layup will not go. And it's knocked out of bounds off the Saints with 29.2 seconds remaining. As Vivian Gendy will replace Zoe Pillar, and Reddick appears to be in quite a bit of pain. The shot clock will be turned off, so Tampa can play for the last shot if they choose, as they tend to Reddick underneath the basket. Spartans are on a 10-0 run over the last 5.5 minutes. Flagler are 0 for their last 8 from the field and 1 of their last 11. And they are in a 5-minute, 52-second scoring drought. They have just 5 points total here in the third. Yeah, they are 2 of 14 at the line. Well, fortunately, Reddick was up. I think might have just taken a shot to the nose. So unofficially an official's timeout, I believe, as they sent the teams to the bench while they were getting looked at. There never was a timer put on it, interesting enough, so it's not as if it had to be 60 seconds. So team's back on the floor now. 29.2 seconds to go here in the third. Flagler look as if they will put at least 3 in the backcourt here, with Palmieri to trigger it. Ramsey. Over it goes to Davis, and they'll beat the 10. McClendon picking up Ramsey, and I think Tom Jesse's going to be just fine letting his point guard run this all the way down. Inside 10 seconds. Ramsey dumps it into Rodriguez with 4, with 3. Turnaround jumper good. Make that 13 on the afternoon for Sariana Rodriguez. And Tampa showing why they're the number 15 team in the country. They outscore the Saints 14-5 in the third quarter. And they appear to be nailing this game down. We go to the fourth quarter. It's Tampa 45, Flagler 34. This is the 2024 Florida Tech Holiday Classic on the Florida Tech Digital Network. We start the fourth quarter in Melbourne with Tampa leading Flagler 45-34. At one point in this game, the Saints had a 19-5 lead. That was inside the final minute of the first quarter. Since then, the Spartans have outscored them 40-15, including 14-5 in that third quarter. In which case we saw the Saints go 2 for 14 from the field, while Tampa went 5 of 10. Tampa did that, by the way, while taking 1 3 that they did not make. That would seem to be Flagler's undoing. They were 1 of 10 from deep in the third quarter. And though I think part of that is just the fact that Tampa have been able to wall off the post. Dowdy going to take a corner 3 here, and it's good. And that was just what Mo Smith's team needed. That'll cut it to 8, and Flagler will keep the press on here in the fourth quarter. I think even if they were leading, they might be doing that. This is Jendi, who checked in at the start of the quarter, over for Ramsey, who has 11 and 7 today as the Spartans' primary ball handler. Rodriguez on the drive, it's short. Grimm there on the rebound. Grimm with her 4th board of the day. This is Weeks along the baseline, picked up by Van Bennekom. McCormick, who had 15 in the first half, and those are her first points of the second half. And if the Saints are going to win this game, they're going to need her to get going again. It's down to 6, just like that. 8:46 to play, although that's going to be a foul on Jessica Dowdy. That's her first. We look at the foul trouble, and of course the team fouls reset with each quarter. But Destiny McClendon, Carly Grimm, and Jasmine Major each with 3. And for Tampa, nobody has 3. So they're in good shape there. As Marissa McDonald, who I don't think we really saw in that third quarter, will check back in. Rodriguez goes to Pillar, who just checked in, able to muscle past Grimm. Shot wouldn't go. She got her rebound. The follow-up didn't go. Rebound taken by McCormick. That's her 6th. And she might just take this end to end, and will. 19 on the day for Sherelle McCormick. And I think Tom Jesse wants to stop the bleeding as the Saints have started the fourth quarter on a 7-0 run in the first 90 seconds. We'll take it with them. 8:28 remain. It's Tampa 45, Flagler 41. This is the Florida Tech Holiday Classic on the Florida Tech Digital Network.
The day had come.
Founded to educate the pioneers of the U.S. space program, Florida Tech's history is making history. Today we carry on this legacy, redefining what's possible, transforming dreams into reality, embarking on the endeavors most pivotal to the future. Florida Tech, making history, shaping the future.
We are back with 8:28 to play in the ball game. Flagler have opened the fourth quarter on a 7-0 run. It is a 2-possession game. This has been a fun game to watch. Flagler started on that 19-5 run. Tampa then began to flex their muscle. Now Flagler have answered. Let's see where this game goes next. 13 to shoot. As McDonald hands off to Sariana Rodriguez, the transfer out of FIU. Into the paint, over McCormick, gets the roll to go with 3 on the shot clock. Sariana Rodriguez leading the way for the Spartans in this one with 15 on 50% shooting, as McCormick tries to answer. The three doesn't go. Olivia Davis will grab the rebound. Ramsey will clear the timeline. Just inside the arc, jumper was short. Rebound falls to Carly Grimm, who's got 5. Along with 6 points today. 7.5 minutes left in this one. Flagler showing quite the effort this weekend. Trying to go 2-0. This is really the de facto championship game, even though there isn't a trophy for this one, but a de facto championship of the weekend as both teams won yesterday. Tampa got the possession arrow as Major will come in to replace Dowdy. As we just mentioned, Major will play these last 7 minutes with 3 fouls. Flagler looking to get back to 500 at 5-5. Tampa looking to improve to 11-2 for the season. And a foul underneath the basket. And that's going to be on Zoe Pillar, as both her and McCormick took a tumble. And for Zoe Pillar, that will be her second. McClendon's actually going to go to the bench. So on the floor at the moment for Flagler, it's Aspen Weeks, Jasmine Major, Lainey Norika just checked in, along with Marley Smith and Carly Grimm. For Tampa, it's Olivia Davis, Audrey Ramsey, Marissa McDonald, Sariana Rodriguez, and Zoe Pillar. Under 7 minutes remain. This is a 6-point game. Major hands off to Norika, who gave Flagler a boost off the bench in that first quarter. 8 on the shot clock here for the Saints. As Major drives with the left hand, down to 5, down to 4. Norika will let it go. That's offline. And the rebound taken by Olivia Davis. And that possession's kind of been a summary of the second half of this game. Tampa is just not allowing Flagler to drive, and they knew eventually their hot streak from beyond the arc would start to run out. And it has. Flagler in this second half, 2 of 13 from deep. Major trying to post up Ramsey, kicks out to Grimm. And if you're Tampa, that's where you want her. Norika, 4 weeks. This is Jasmine Major. 8 to shoot. Nothing really doing here for Flagler. Weeks is just going to let it fly, and the rebound taken by Rodriguez. That's her 6th to go with 15 points. Both teams have hit a scoring drought of over 2 minutes. So we come up on the final 5. Ramsey lost the handle, got it back. Flagler in something of a man-zone hybrid here, and had to recover it quickly. I think Norika is the one who will pick up the foul, and Davis will go to the line to shoot 2. That is the second foul against the Saints in the fourth quarter, and that will start to become a factor. As McCormick returns, so does Dowdy, and Norika and Major will both head to the bench. So Olivia Davis to the line. That is her first trip at the stripe today. Tampa are 9 of 14 at the charity stripe today. It's a 64% clip, make it 10 of 15. Flagler, it should be noted, and this has held true since halftime, 1 of 2. And that's maybe been the biggest story, is Flagler just are not getting the drives that they were before. Davis hits both. The lead back out to 8. With 5:18 and counting in the ball game. I think baseline is Dowdy. She'll be shadowed by Ramsey. Cutting back in along the baseline and back out to Smith with 10 to shoot. Dowdy gets it back. No space opening up as it goes to Grimm with 5 on the shot clock. McCormick, over it goes to Weeks with 1, and she's not going to get it off. And that is the 3rd shot clock violation of the second half for the Saints as we hit the final media timeout with 4:54 to go. It's Tampa 49, Flagler 41. We'll be right back. This is the Florida Tech Digital Network.
Being a champion takes more than skill, more than endless drills, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the heart to give it your all, the agility to thrive from any angle, and the relentless drive to be the best. Welcome to Division II, where the pursuit is yours to create, and the question isn't, can you do it? It's will you?
Reminder to stay with us here on the Florida Tech Digital Network. 5 o'clock will be our next game, which will be the men's matchup between Florida Tech and Dominican. Panthers were victorious last night over over Trinity Baptist, I should say. Trinity Baptist will play Lynn at 7 p.m., and that will wrap up our weekend of basketball here in Melbourne. 4:54 remaining in this one. The Tampa defense has come alive. They have allowed just 12 points in the second half. Saints will put 3 in the backcourt here to press. Davis will inbound. It's Ramsey and Rodriguez as the potential ball handlers. Ramsey will play this back over to Davis. And they'll beat the 10-second call easily. Goes to Ramsey, although that pass was very nearly picked off. She'll be picked up by Dowdy. 12 to shoot, goes over the screen set by McDonald. Trying to go to Pillar. A lot of contact underneath. No call. The Saints are furious. And did Flagler call a timeout? And I don't know if this is if this is simply just Mo Smith wanting to get on the officials, because Marley Smith hit the floor even before Pillar got the ball, and there was no whistle. Mo Smith seems to be incredibly upset about that, and I wonder if he didn't just take that timeout to let them know about it. Pillar converts the layup, however, and she's got 14 points along with 11 rebounds in this one. Looking like the all-conference player that we've seen over the past couple of years. And not only does Pillar have that 14 and 11, she's got 4 assists, and 5 of those rebounds are on the offensive end. She's also 4 of 6 at the free throw line today. So Zoe Pillar having a bounce-back performance after yesterday. Should point out, if we look at the box score, Flagler has attempted 5 layups. And I think a lot of that has to do, Tom Jesse said his defense won the game for his team yesterday. I think you could very easily say that the Spartan defense has brought them most of the way here today. 51-41 your score with 4:29 to go. McCormick will bring it up. McCormick going to be picked up by Rodriguez. Coming over on top of a screen is Dowdy. Not a lot of spacing here for Flagler. Dowdy on the drive, kicks it to Grimm. One-on-one against Pillar in the paint. She'll get it to go. Harley Grimm has 8. That's second most on the team. And the Saints are within 8. Rodriguez might have dragged her foot there. No call. And they'll kick it back out. It's Palmieri. And I think the Saints might be trying to bleed the clock here, which you could certainly understand. And why not? Flagler are the one that have to play perfect defense from here. Shot clock down to 5. It's off to Rodriguez, being picked up by Weeks. Rodriguez will let it go in front of the bench. It's no good. And shot clock expired, but it was already going out of bounds. Ramsey will replace Palmieri. 3.5 minutes to play, and for Flagler, they have to start making these possessions count. Well, credit to them. They've actually held Tampa to 6 points here in the fourth quarter so far. McCormick through the Grimm screen. Jumper doesn't go. It's knocked out of bounds, but off of who? They'll say last touched by Dowdy, it looks like. And it'll be Spartan ball with 3:13 remaining. Flagler have had a little bit better luck of it here in the fourth. They are 4 of 8 from the field, although 1 of 4 from distance. Kath Van Bennekom will re-enter and replace Marissa McDonald. Davis will be the one to inbound. Saints with 3 in the backcourt. Ramsey over for Davis. This could get tricky. Able to beat the timeline though, and nobody had Pillar. She won't have an easier 2 all afternoon. 16 and 11 on the day for Zoe Pillar. Pass ahead goes to Grimm. Pillar disrupts that one. It ultimately falls into the hands of Van Bennekom, and Tampa can continue to slow roll this one. They lead by 10 with under 3 minutes to go. So much like yesterday, which seemed in doubt for a minute as Clayton State continued to hang tough. And then Tampa started to put it away in the final 4 minutes of the game. They'll continue to do that here as Sariana Rodriguez knocks down the triple. That is her 3rd of the day. She's got 18 points and 6 boards. And this one appears to be all but finished. 56-43 is the score. Grimm. Over it goes to Dowdy with 10 on the shot clock. Grimm lost it, but there's going to be a foul on the play. It'll be on Van Bennekom, and that'll be her 3rd. Both teams with 2 team fouls here in the 4th quarter, so plenty of ways away from the bonus. Dowdy, over it goes for McCormick on the drive, heavily contested, won't fall, and Pillar pulls down her 12th rebound of the afternoon. By the way, they have officially changed that Rodriguez shot to a 2. So it's a 55-43 game. I'm pretty sure I thought I saw a couple of hands go up to indicate it was a 3. A turnover by Tampa. And the Saints got to start making these baskets count and quick. 1:36 to go. They'll work it around. McCormick jumper with Pillar closing fast. Rolls around, won't go. Marley Smith is there. Her layup won't fall. She got the rebound, couldn't convert again. And the rebound picked up by Audrey Ramsey, who has 8 now on the day. And a foul as Flagler realized they're going to have to start playing the fouling game as Dowdy commits the foul. That's her 2nd. 1:10 to go. Saints are now 1 for their last 8 from the field and have gone almost 3 minutes without a basket. And foul, I believe that one will be on Marley Smith. That's her 2nd. And the next foul will put Tampa in the bonus with 1:05 to play, and Palmieri getting ready to check in. Oh no, they call her back. They want to get it to Ramsey, who's fouled. And that time by Dowdy. You look up and down this roster. Ramsey was a 73% free throw shooter entering play today. Olivia Davis is an 83% shooter. Rodriguez 75%. McDonald 77%. Van Bennekom 76%. Pillar 76%. This is a very good free throw shooting team. They came in today averaging 76.8% at the line. Ramsey will shoot 2 here, where she's made both of her attempts today. First one rolls around and out. Tampa are 11 for 17 there today. They're shooting 69%, which at the free throw line is not nice. Although she'll salvage that. That'll make it a 12 for 18 day for the Spartans as Ramsey will go to the bench. And I believe Palmieri checked back in to replace Ramsey as we enter the final minute of play in the ball game. Tampa did an incredible job in closing this game out and digging themselves out of an early hole. It was 19-5 inside the final minute of play in the first quarter. And since then, the Spartans have outscored them 51-26. Timeout called after the basket. That'll make it 56-45 with 47.3 seconds remaining. We'll be right back. Spartans will inbound. They are in the double bonus for the remainder of the game. Well, Tom Jesse, I'm going to let the referees know I wanted to take the timeout to advance the ball. Oh, no, they'll take it. So we'll keep it here. We'll take a quick look at the Sunshine State Conference scoreboard. I mentioned Florida Tech already played today on the women's side. They fall at home to Clayton State. 79-54 elsewhere in the league. Florida Eckerd a 93-30 victory over Trinity. That game played in Lakeland. Palm Beach Atlantic defeat Bowie State 69-56. Florida Southern hang on to defeat Maryville 90-85. And at halftime, Malin cruising past Shaw 39-24. There's 2 games tomorrow in SSC play. Palm Beach Atlantic will take on Shaw. That game will be at Lynn. And then that'll be followed by the Fighting Knights taking on Bowie State. And then everyone in the league will be off until Sunday, or I should say tomorrow, Sunday the 22nd. After tomorrow, everybody will be off till New Year's Day. And there'll be 2 league games, with the Spartans being one of them when they go to Nova Southeastern. Those 2 teams contended for the SSC title last year in the regular season, and ultimately the Sharks won out. Actually edged out Tampa by a game. And then they met in the NCAA tournament last year. With that game up in Valdosta, Tampa defeated the Sharks. They defeated 3 SSC opponents to get to their second consecutive Elite Eight, including Nova Southeastern in the South Region Championship by 7. As Olivia Davis knocks down both free throws, and that should do it. It is 58-45 with 39.6 seconds remaining. Being at the stat leaders for Tampa, Sariana Rodriguez has 17 points, Zoe Pillar with 16 points and 12 boards, along with 4 assists, a block, and a steal. Sariana Rodriguez has 6 rebounds and 2 steals to go with her 17 points. Audrey Ramsey with 12 points, 8 boards, 2 assists, and 2 steals. Tampa has 6 steals as a team. In the second half, 9 of 20 from the field. They've only taken 2 3-pointers, neither of which they made, but they were also 9 of 12 at the free throw line. And that kind of made all the difference. As Marley Smith inbounds this to Dowdy as Flagler advanced the ball on the timeout. They're going to need a quick basket here if they're going to try to make anything happen. And they'll get it there from Sherelle McCormick as the Spartans call timeout with 32.4 seconds remaining. And both teams are now out of timeouts. That is Tampa's final timeout with 32 and 4/10 seconds remaining. So here's the game reset for you. We mentioned Tampa just used their final timeout. Flagler, before that last basket, had used their final timeout. On the foul count, Tampa are in the bonus for the rest of this game, and they have 2 fouls to give before Flagler would go into the bonus. And the possession arrow currently favors the Saints. That's your game reset with 32 and 4/10 seconds remaining. Spartans advance the ball on the timeout, so they'll inbound right in front of the bench. And it'll be Sariana Rodriguez to inbound. And they'll actually put the defender in the backcourt. Instead, the inbound goes to Ramsey instead of into the backcourt. Over it goes, and that went off a St. foot. There are 2 seconds remaining, or 2 seconds separating the game and shot clock. Back into Ramsey again, who is 3 for 4 at the foul line today. Pass gets tipped, and it finds Sariana Rodriguez, and Flagler might have to foul here if they want to have any sort of chance. Spartans will continue to throw it around, and I think Flagler may have just conceded. As the shot clock will run down, Flagler will get the ball one more time, because even if Tampa runs this out, and they do, Olivia Davis will do that. The shot clock, or the game clock, stops with 1.6 seconds remaining, so Tampa, after an early scare in this one, will improve to 11-2 to close out the 2024 portion of their schedule. Sherelle McCormick will inbound it to Jasmine Major, and as soon as she picks it off, the final 2 seconds will run off the clock. This one is over. Tampa flex their might, rallying from an early 14-point deficit to defeat Flagler 58-48. So let's take a look at the final stats in this one. Tampa shoot 43% from the field, 20 of 47 overall. They were 4 of 10 from 3 for a 33% clip, and 14 of 20 at the foul line. That's good for 70%. Flagler were 20 of 56 from the field. That's good for a 36% rate. 7 of 27 from beyond the arc, although they were 3 of 15 in the second half, and just 1 for 2 at the foul line, and that came in the first half. Spartans win the rebounding advantage 37-29, 7-6 on the offensive glass. They had more second chance points, 7-3, while Flagler won the bench battle 8-6. Tampa with more points in the paint, which we kind of figured would happen, 22-6. They also had the advantage in fast break points, 5-2. We had 2 ties and 3 lead changes. And Flagler did not lead past the 6:20 mark of the third quarter. Final look for the Saints. They were carried by Sherelle McCormick, who had 22 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, and 3 steals, although 15 of those points came in the first half. Jessica Dowdy with 8 points, 2 rebounds, and a steal. Carly Grimm with 8 points, 5 rebounds, and an assist. Jasmine Major with 8 points, 2 rebounds, and an assist. And the only other Saint that scored was Sayla Reddick, who had 2. Destiny McClendon, 0 for 2 in 13 minutes. A very surprising line from her. For Tampa, they were led by Sariana Rodriguez, who had 17 points, 6 rebounds, an assist, and 2 steals. Zoe Pillar back to all-conference form with 16 points, 12 rebounds, 4 assists, a block, and a steal. Audrey Ramsey, 12 points, 8 rebounds, 2 assists, and 2 steals. Kath Van Bennekom had 6 points in this one. Olivia Davis with 4 points in this one, along with 4 rebounds and 2 assists. Marissa McDonald had 3 points as well. So for the Flagler Saints, they are now 4-6 on the year. They will return to action in 2 weeks on January 4th when they travel to North Georgia. For the Tampa Spartans, they are 11-2. They go 2-0 on the weekend. They'll be back at it on New Year's Day at Nova Southeastern. Well, we hope you have enjoyed today's broadcast, and we hope you've enjoyed tuning in to all of the games here on the Florida Tech Digital Network. We've got 2 more coming up. The men will start at 5 when Florida Tech take on Dominican University out of New York, and then at 7, it'll be Lynn against Trinity Baptist. For Matt Padway on camera and my executive producer, Remington Smith, my name is Jerry Durney, signing off from the Clemente Center on the campus of Florida Tech in Melbourne, where once again your final score this afternoon, Tampa 58, Flagler 48. You're watching the 2024 Florida Tech Holiday Classic on the Florida Tech Digital Network. Goodbye for now. Tune back in at 5 o'clock.